Hey there, curious minds. Welcome to another fascinating journey through the annals of history. Have you ever wondered about the peculiar name Snotgarden? It's a name that certainly raises eyebrows and piques curiosity. Let's dive into this quirky bit of history and uncover the origins of this unusual name. Trust me, it's a story worth telling. Snotgarden, which might sound like a place where you'd find tissues growing on trees, is actually an old name for the city of Nottingham in England. Yes, you heard that right, Nottingham, the city famous for its links to the legend of Robin Hood. Nottingham, a city steeped in history and folklore, has a name that has evolved significantly over the centuries. But how did it start as Snotgarden? To understand why it was called Snotgarden, we need to roll back the clock to the Anglo-Saxon period. This era, rich in culture and tradition, holds the key to our mystery. During this time, the area was known as Snottingham, which roughly translates to the homestead of Snot's people. The name Snottingham is a compound of the Old English words snot and ham. Snot in this context was probably a person's name, possibly a chieftain or an influential figure in the community. Imagine a leader whose legacy was so impactful that his name was immortalized in the name of a settlement. So it wasn't about mucus at all. The name Snot might sound amusing to us today, but back then it was a mark of respect and identity. The ham part of Snottingham means homestead or village, common in place names from that era. This suffix was used to denote a settlement or a community, a place where people lived and thrived. Over time, like many things in history, the name evolved. Names are not static. They change and adapt as languages and cultures evolve. When the Normans invaded England in 1066, they found the name Snottingham quite a mouthful. The Normans, with their own language and customs, began to influence the local names and terms. In their records, they began to shorten and adapt it. The process of recording and adapting names was part of the Norman administrative system, which sought to streamline and standardize place names. Eventually, it morphed into the much simpler and more recognizable Nottingham. This transformation reflects the linguistic and cultural shifts that occurred over centuries. So why did Snot get dropped? Well, one theory is that the Normans might have found the snot part amusing or awkward. Considering the modern connotations of the word, they chose to streamline the name, removing the part that might cause a few giggles. It's fascinating how names can change and evolve, isn't it? The evolution of Snottingham to Nottingham is a perfect example of how language and culture are intertwined. They chose to streamline the name, removing the part that might cause a few giggles. This decision was likely influenced by the need for clarity and ease of pronunciation. It's fascinating how names can change and evolve, isn't it? From Snottingham to Nottingham, the city's name has journeyed through centuries of history, adapting to the tongues and tastes of its inhabitants. From Snottingham to Nottingham, the city's name has journeyed through centuries of history, adapting to the tongues and tastes of its inhabitants. This journey is a testament to the dynamic nature of language and the influence of different cultures over time. Names can tell us so much about the past, about the people, the culture, and the times. They're like time capsules, preserving the essence of an era. So next time you visit Nottingham, or hear about it, remember its quirky origin as Snotgarden. It's a fun little reminder of the richness of history and the ever-evolving nature of language. It's a fun little reminder of the richness of history and the ever-evolving nature of language. The story of Snotgarden is just one of many that show how our world is shaped by the past. Thanks for joining me on this historical detour. I hope you enjoyed learning about the curious history of Snotgarden. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more curious tales from the past. Your support helps us bring more fascinating stories to light. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious. There's always more to discover in the pages of history.